Welcome back to another episode of the EPL Debate Show. This week should be the shortest video we have, but just what we're going to discuss, we definitely will be recapping last game week 6. We'll also look ahead to game week 7 this weekend, and also regular fantasy tips for the week, so stay tuned. All right, so game week 6 kicked off at Stamford Bridge with Arsenal traveling to Chelsea. The result there was an expected Chelsea win, and it did go as planned. Chelsea winning 2-0. The result did come in controversial terms, with Arsenal getting two of their men sent off. Another shocking performance from a referee standpoint, and we've discussed this earlier in one of our videos, with the standard of refereeing in the Premier League so far this year being appalling. So another bad performance from Mike Dean there. Costa definitely should have seen a red. Gabriel, he lost his head a little bit, so he definitely also should have seen a red. Cazzola, debatable, but I think those two cards were warranted as well. But the referee was not consistent throughout the entire game, so I see why a lot of Arsenal fans weren't happy with the result and the performance, as well as the manager Arsene Wenger. But Chelsea they needed the 3 points going into the game. And sometimes when you're struggling as a team, all you need to do is get under the skin and rile up your opponents a little bit, just so they lose their composure and lose their head. And that's exactly what Chelsea did. And they got the 2 goals and the 3 points that they sorely needed. So not a great spectacle there, but another home win for Mourinho against Arsene Wenger. Moving on to Villa hosting West Brom. This was a pretty dull game, but West Brom got the goal they needed, with Saido Berahino coming back into the team and bagging the away win for the Baggies, which was a Midland derby, by the way. So West Brom got all 3 points there. I was a little bit surprised that Aston Villa couldn't get a goal at home, but we've seen them struggle to score goals so far. A good home win for Bournemouth against Sunderland. Once again, like we said, Sunderland, they cannot defend to save themselves, so they considered 2 goals, and they're so far so good. They're not getting the goals that they need to get points in the Premier League, even though I know they have Defoe and Fletcher, but those two are not on form yet. So till they get in form, it's going to be a really, really difficult season for them. So Bournemouth with the 2-0 comfortable home win. And then Newcastle hosted Watford. The big Nigerian, Idioni Gallo, he's definitely one of the strikers on form right now. He bagged the brace there and got Watford a much needed away win. So a good win for Watford. But Newcastle are struggling right now. Their manager is definitely going to be under pressure. It's like 3 straight losses for them now, so they need to steady the ship before it gets too bad and too out of hand. Another shocking and surprising result for me was Stoke giving up 2 goals at home to Leicester. So they went 2 goals ahead, and Mahrez converted from the penalty spot before James Vardy pulled them back level. So I thought Leicester, this would have been a tricky game for them because of the physicality of Stoke. And with Stoke going 2-0 ahead, I thought it was definitely over. But credit to Leicester, this is the third come from behind point or victory that they've gotten so far in the Premier League. So they're doing really well right now. So I'll see. It'll be interesting to see how they move forward in the Premier League. So they cannot afford to go behind every game that they play, which they've done the past 3 games now. But when you're in form, it doesn't matter if you go behind, or score first. So they're getting the results that they need. A surprising one was in Wales, with Swansea hosting Everton. I thought that game would have been the game where we get the excitement and the goals. I predicted a 2-2 draw there. It ended 0-0. It was an exciting game, but it wasn't too many opportunities to really pinpoint. So I was really disappointed in the result and the performance. But 0-0 draw, I don't think either of those teams would be complaining about the point. And then another shocker at the Etihad with City hosting West Ham. City definitely they missed Company, Vincent Company, their captain in this game, because a lot of people say when you're a top side and you play one of the mid-table or bottom teams, you only need to defend once or twice at home, especially at home. So you only need to keep your concentration in defense about once, twice, or maximum three times in a game. And the two times that City needed to keep their concentration at the back, they did not, and they considered both times. So, and once they went 2 goals ahead, it was a big mountain to climb, especially with Silva being out. They did get a goal back from the new signing Kevin De Bruyne, but in the second half, I do not know how they didn't manage to get at least one goal. But sometimes that's all the luck that you need, and West Ham definitely had all the luck on their side. And credit to their manager, by the way, Bilic. He's managed to give them three really really good victories away from home against the top sides: 2-0 at Arsenal, 3-0 at Liverpool, and now 2-1 at the Etihad. So he's got something working there. He just needs to keep their home form a little bit better so they can be right up there in the top half of the table. And then Spurs, a surprising win at Crystal Palace. They're still playing really bad right now, but on Sunday against Palace, they were definitely up for the game. It was a good game. I was surprised that Spurs came out attacking, and they went right at Crystal Palace and they got the goal, and got the 3 points there as well. So credit to Spurs. Hopefully they kick on from here. Another really really bad result for Liverpool at home at Anfield to Norwich. They went ahead through Danny Ings, but then got clipped back, and the game ended 1-1. For some reason, they're also struggling to get goals, and at the moment, their defense, after starting the season really well, getting 3 clean sheets, afford the they cannot seem to get another clean sheet. So I don't know what's going on. Brendan Rodgers looks to be a manager under pressure, and they just played in the Carling Cup as well. They went ahead in the Carling Cup, Capital One Cup now, went ahead and then considered to a fourth tier team in the English league. So something is going on with Liverpool, and it'll be interesting to see how they get it fixed. And then the last game of the week was at St. Mary's with Manchester United traveling to Southampton. This was another good game. I thought United would struggle like they often did at St. Mary's, but Southampton really should have won this game. They just kicked themselves in the foot. They went ahead through Pele, could have been two ahead. He smacked another shot against the post in the first half. And then as soon as United got themselves into the game, albeit through an offside goal, Mata was offside, but a great finish by the new Frenchman, Anthony Martial. And then there was the shocking back pass from Yoshida in the second half. And at that point, you just knew that United would get all 3 points that they needed. And then Mata got the third goal, a beautiful build-up team play from the team. And Pele managed to claw Southampton back 3-2 there, but that's all she wrote. The game ended that way. So credit to United, not playing the best football, but second in the league now, behind Manchester City, only 2 points. So the Premier League table is starting to shape up nicely and getting a little bit competitive. So we'll look up to our predictions for Game 7 next. All right, so game week 7 starts at Spurs. We have Manchester City traveling to White Hart Lane for the early kickoff there on Saturday. Spurs are still struggling. Harry Kane does not seem to have it going yet, even though the South Korean son he looks to be the striker that they might need this season if Harry Kane continues in this vein. But I think with City going to Sunderland in the Capital One Cup, scoring a bunch of goals in that game, I think they carried the confidence into this game, and I see City winning this by 2 goals to 1. Kevin De Bruyne and Aguero would definitely be key for City if they're to get anything at White Hart Lane. And then we go next to the King Power Stadium with Leicester hosting Arsenal. I think Leicester right now, every time I've picked against them, they've proved me wrong. They're we gotta consider them the informed team with City losing last week. Leicester are still unbeaten, so I think they carried the form into this game. And Mahrez and Vardy again. Vardy should cause the defenders of Arsenal a little bit of trouble, especially with Chambers looking a little shaky, and then Koscielny not to. I don't think he's that fit yet. So I think Vardy would be a handful for them, and I'm going for a 2-1 home win for Leicester here. Um, then up next at Anfield, we have Liverpool hosting Villa. Liverpool struggling a little bit in defense right now, and up front as well, they cannot seem to score more than one goal. So I think with Villa coming in, they'll stay compact and make it difficult for Liverpool to create anything against them. So I think Liverpool go behind in this game and manage to claw themselves back, and I think the result would be 1-1 there and more pressure on their manager Brendan Rodgers. And then on to Old Trafford next, we have United hosting Sunderland. Sunderland struggling a little bit as well. Defensively, they've looked pretty bad, and then offensively, their strikers have not got going yet. So I think that continues in this game, especially since they're not going to see a lot of the ball with the way Manchester United plays. United is still lacking that cutting edge with pretty much slicing and dicing teams whenever they defend against them. I think United will struggle to start this game, but in the end, I think Anthony Martial cannot seem to stop scoring now. So I'm going for a 3-0 United victory here. I think Juan Mata and Anthony Martial continue to good form into this game. And Martial, what can I say? What a waste of money, huh? And then Southampton hosting Swansea. Uh, Southampton, I think they've got going already, even though they had the bad result against Manchester United, but they played really well, put United under immense pressure. And then one thing we know about Swansea this year is they play well at home, but their performance away from home is pretty bad. So I think that continues in this game as well. And I'm going for a 2-1 victory for the home side there. And then at the Britannia Stadium, Stoke hosting Bournemouth. Bournemouth, the one thing they struggle against is physical side. So I think Stoke will get physical with them, not let them settle on the ball and pass it around like they like to do. So I'm going for a comfortable win here for Stoke, even though the result will not show that, but a 2-1 victory for Stoke. And then West Ham hosting Norwich. West Ham, for some reason, they tend to play well away from home against the top sides and struggle against the mid-tier table teams at home in the Premier League. But Norwich, I think Norwich as well, they're one of the teams that are showing confidence in the way they play. So with Wes Houlihan coming back into the frame and Payet playing well for West Ham right now, I'm going for a really, really entertaining game here, and I'm going 2-2 draw. So hopefully we get good football in that game. And then we have the Toon Army Newcastle hosting Chelsea. Chelsea got the result they needed against Arsenal. I think that would definitely kickstart their season. And then we saw them in the Capital One Cup not too long ago, scoring a lot of goals and playing some really good football there, albeit it was not that great of an opposition. But regardless, getting goals always help confidence. So I'm going for a 3-1 away victory here for Chelsea away at Newcastle. Watford is hosting Crystal Palace. This is a really difficult one because Watford right now, they're not playing the best football, but they're picking up 3 points like they just recently did against Newcastle with Igalo being one of the strikers that are getting the goals. So I think that continues at home to Crystal Palace. A lot of people would not pick them to beat Crystal Palace, but I'm sticking my chest out and say they get a 2-1 victory at home against Crystal Palace. Prove me right. And then the last game of the week is West Bromwich Albion hosting Everton. West Brom are finding it hard themselves to score goals, so I'm going for a 0-1 victory here for Everton, with the young Englishman Barkley being the star guy. So, fantasy tips for game week 7. But before I jump into that, another shocking performance from game week 6. I did go for the bald English guy at Swansea to get me a goal or an assist. That game was a shocking game. It didn't live up to expectation at all. So, another one that I picked wrong there. And then with the clean sheet, West Ham cannot stop scoring away from home against the top side. So City lacked the leadership of Company in defense, so they considered 2 goals as well. But for game week 7, for my goals, I'm going for Anthony Martial here. I know it's pretty a big gamble because his price on Premier League fantasy is about 8.8 now. I think it went up to, but he's looked really comfortable in front of goal. He just scored as well against Ipswich for United, a well-taken goal. So it's now 4-4 for him. And I think with Sunderland struggling defensively, I think he'll definitely get the start in that striker role. And I think Mata or possibly a Wayne Rooney would be good to pick him out and get him going like he's already doing. So I'm going for Marshall from Manchester United to get me a goal this game week. And then defensively as well, I can't see any way Sunderland will have any shot at keeping a clean sheet at Old Trafford. So I'm going. Darmian was substituted against Southampton, but I think this game he should start and should finish because Valencia played the full 90 minutes in the Capital One Cup. So I think Darmian comes back in. Sunderland are probably going to see about 35% of possession. I don't think that's enough for them to hurt United. They're not a team that's built for counter-attacking football. So I'm going for a United clean sheet there. So my 2 players for this game week would be Darmian and Anthony Martial, both for Manchester United. All right, so thanks for rocking with me again this week. I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and don't forget to follow EPL Debate Show on Twitter and keep up with our videos, and also subscribe to our YouTube page. So have a good one and stay safe.